Twitter feed that may indicate a theory. We need to focus on the facts. You need us to be right. You expect us to be right, and we want to be right.
So many wounded seeking help now. Will Carr live at the University Medical Center in Las Vegas. What are investigators saying about Paddock and possibly having assistance?
Well, good morning, Bill. Authorities are saying at this point that they're not ruling anything out here on the ground in Las Vegas. It comes as we've learned that Paddock, the week before the shooting, actually rented a separate hotel room in a different hotel that looked over a different concert festival as well. We've learned that he had explosive substances in his car and 1,600 rounds of ammunition. Whether he was planning another attack is unclear, as there are still more than 170 victims in Vegas hospitals this morning, including Aaron Cotter's father, Doug, who was shot Sunday night. Aaron couldn't find his dad until the next afternoon.
She's like, I'm 99% sure this is your dad. She took me to the security guard, and he said, let's go identify this guy in the room. And as soon as he took me in there, I was like, yeah, this is my dad. And I had tears of joy coming out of my eyes to see my dad was alive.
And his dad is in ICU. He could be at the hospital for several more weeks here, and we're told his family started a GoFundMe page to help with their finances for the next couple of weeks. Bill.
Yeah. What about the city and the community? What is your sense about the healing process now?
Well, we were walking along the Strip last night, and it really seemed to be business as usual. Mixed in with that, there have been a number of vigils and benefit concerts, including one put on by Hero Marine Taylor Winstead. You may remember that he actually stole a truck and used it to transport up to 30 victims to the hospital. Last night, he actually weighed in on the gun debate swirling in D.C. Take a listen.
No bill that's passed, no law is going to stop what happened today. Was it accessible for him to buy these things legally? Maybe some of the components he added to his weapons to modify them, but if you have the resources and the money, you're going to make it happen. And I think he had a plan to hurt a lot of people, and it was unfortunately a good plan.
And in an ironic twist, Bill, we've learned that the insurance company for that stolen truck could potentially go after Winston to pay for the blood that was in the bed of that truck.
Will Carr there. Thank you. Live in Las Vegas with more on what we're learning by the hour. Thank you, Will. Sandra.
We're hearing a lot about these bump stocks, the device used by the Las Vegas shooter to make his guns fire bullets faster. Now there's a push to ban them. John Sheehan is a former Las Vegas police sergeant on the SWAT team. And John, we want to take this opportunity because these bump stocks are at the center of such a hotly debated issue in Washington right now to learn something. What exactly are these bump stocks?
Yes, Sandra, good to be with you again. A bump stock is a stock that's installed on, replaces the stock that is on the semi-automatic assault weapon. And it's got a spring-type system in it where, as the weapon recoils, the inertia of that recoil allows it to come back and cycle quicker, where you just leave your trigger finger in place at one time, at one position, and it allows that weapon to cycle at a fast rate. It's just another way of taking a semi-automatic rifle and turning it into a fully automatic machine gun.
But it doesn't actually do so, right? It doesn't become classified as a fully automatic weapon with this conversion kit. Can the average, but it fires as one, right? Is that the distinction to be made?
Well, Sandra, that's a loophole, because actually what it is it's just a different device that allows a semi-automatic assault rifle to turn into a fully automatic machine gun. In other words, I could buy a different type of device, which is the trigger group, and have to get a federal tax stamp, go through months and months of a background check, but I'm paying, and the federal government, the ATF, is ensured that I'm allowed to have that fully automatic weapon because I have purchased that trigger group. What this allows you to do is get a very similar, if not exact same type of action out of that weapon, but not have to go through the federal background check. So really what it's doing is it's still allowing you to make it into a machine gun. It's sort of a loophole device.
This sounds like a complicated issue to many of us. Is this something the average civilian who wants to make this conversion, is this something they can learn to do? Is it easily learned? Is it a complicated process?
You could go on any YouTube channel, and there are dozens and dozens of videos that show people. There was one gal just sitting on the floor in her living room and put it together and had it up and running inside of a couple of minutes. So it's not a difficult device to install. Pretty much anybody that knows their way around their firearm is going to be able to put this in.
So, John, the Wall Street Journal editorial board wrote this up this morning on possible gun legislation, and they wrote, Congress could outlaw bump stocks, but how does it outlaw a technique? The practice of quickly bumping a trigger with one's finger to engage in rapid fire long predates bump stocks or other accessories. So based on your knowledge, should these be banned? And if they were, if Republicans and Democrats got together and decided to ban them, would it make any difference in the case of the shooting over the weekend?
Well, you're talking to somebody that is or was a police officer. That's the tip of the spear, and we just enforce those laws. So whether that happens or not is not, in my opinion, really doesn't matter. Do I believe in the Second Amendment? Yes. Do I believe that people should have the right, if they want to possess a fully automatic weapon, if they go through a federal background check, if they pay the money, if they get the tax stamp, and we are reasonably assured that they are allowed to use those weapons? Yes. But should anybody in the public, emotionally unstable people, psychologically unstable people, as undoubtedly our shooter was, be able to get something like this as easily accessed, which does exactly the same thing, I think is what is in question today.
All right, John Sheehan, thank you. We're all trying to wrap our mind around this. Thank you.
Makes a number
As
of interesting
Thank
points.
you.
Yeah, it's good to have him back here as excellent guest there. 10 minutes past the hour, President Trump traveling to Vegas to comfort the victims and to thank the heroes yesterday.
What I saw today is just an incredible tribute. And the patience, the bravery. Some were very, very badly wounded, and they were badly wounded because they refused to leave. They wanted to help others because they saw people going down all over. And it's an incredible thing to see.
We will hear from Nevada Senator Dean Heller live. He was on board Air Force One with the president, what he's learning today about that investigation.
And as lawmakers face an increasingly crowded agenda on Capitol Hill, can Republicans get tax reform across the finish line? We'll ask House GOP leader Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers.
And Secretary of State Rex Tillerson calling out the media and the D.C. swamp over this report about infighting with the commander-in-chief. Brett Baer takes on that next, live.
The secretary does not use that type of language. The secretary did not use that type of language to speak about the president of the United States. He does not use that language to speak about anyone. So I hope that that clarifies it.
He never said
He
that.
did not say that.
On April 4th, the world's largest investment bank purchased $300 million of gold for their own account. What do they know that you don't? Investors are snapping up gold. This commodity is on the verge of an epic comeback. Gold and silver, opportunity of a lifetime.
You're seeing a lot of very big, very smart money move into precious metals. They get it. They know what's coming.
Call now and get this exclusive video. See why banks, billionaires, and financial experts are buying gold.
The richest guys who know what they're talking about, like Dalio and those guys, they're shifting into gold now.
Call Lear Capital at 1-800-452-5050 for your free video and special report, Banks, Billionaires, and Plan B. First-time callers receive this revolutionary gold note. It's a 1/20th gram of pure gold pressed into a paper-thin dollar-sized bill.
Everybody should have gold in their portfolio.
Get your free information and ask how you can receive up to $600 in free gold. Call 1-800-452-5050.
Got a postcard from the grandkids. They went to the Ark.
Yeah. What does it say?
Well, Annie says they had a blast and that it's really, really big.
Everything looks big to a 6-year-old.
Well, Hudson says it's even bigger than the castle.
Can't be that big. Can it? Go ahead. Think bigger.
Meeting people is my life. I had to be careful how wide I would open my mouth because I was embarrassed to show my teeth. It was time to do something for myself that was going to be permanent.
The Clear Choice one-day approach is making dental implants a reality for people all over the country who suffer from missing or failing teeth.
I felt like I was the most important person on earth to them.
Bill came in, bad teeth, discomfort, pain. We needed to get him into a smile that he felt confident in.
We have expertise that you might not find anywhere else, all in one location.
The next day, I had a new smile. Couldn't wait to show some folks. It's amazing what a smile can do for a person.
Discover why this is so much more than another dental procedure. It's a true life changer. With over 30,000 new smiles and counting, we're lifting spirits and confidence all over America. Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options.
I'm eating corn on the cob. I had the best smile I'd ever had in my life.
Call ClearChoice today.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need or can't afford? Now you can sell your policy for an immediate payment.
We bought life insurance when our kids were young to protect their future.
Our youngest just turned 40, and we no longer needed the coverage.
That got us to thinking about letting our policy go. So I did some research and called Coventry Direct. I learned that you could sell all or part of a life insurance policy, even a term life policy. Turns out, people have been selling policies like ours for the past 15 years. Who knew? We sold our policy. Now we have money to help with the medical bills.
And to add to our retirement.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may be a candidate to sell your policy. Call 1-800-471-6800 or visit CoventryDirect.com for a free information packet. 1-800-471-6800. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
That's some breaking news from overnight now. 3 U.S. Army Special Op Commandos killed and 2 others injured after an ambush in Western Africa. That attack taking place in the country of Niger, where the commandos they were all Green Berets, part of a team advising and assisting local forces. It's not clear who's responsible for the ambush, but Al-Qaeda and ISIS-affiliated groups like Boko Haram very active in that region, and we have sent people there to take them out. So the latest on that when we get it. The Department of State. 15 minutes now past the hour.
Due to Washington, I have learned that there are some who try to sow dissension to advance their own agenda by tearing others apart in an effort to undermine President Trump's own agenda. I do not, and I will not operate that way.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson reaffirming his support for President Trump yesterday. This after a bombshell report claimed he was close to resigning over the summer and had vented to colleagues that the president was a, quote, moron. President Trump standing by his top diplomat.
I'm very honored by his comments. It was fake news. It was a totally phony story. Thank you very much. It was made up. It was made up by NBC. They just made it up. Thank you all. Thank you. Total confidence in Rex. I have total confidence.
Let's bring in Bret Baier, anchor of Special Report. Bret, good to see you this morning.
Good morning, Senator.
So you saw Rex Tillerson in that unplanned news conference saying he stands by this president, that this is just all silly news. The president then tweeting out that that this is essentially fake news. Did they clear the air on this? Does this go away?
Well, I don't think it goes away, but it does show you how outsiders from Washington, people who are not politicians, for example, Donald Trump and Rex Tillerson, you know, they operate in different ways. And this place and how it's covered can get kind of swampy in Donald Trump terminology, and anonymous sources saying he said this and he did this, you then have to hear from the players themselves. So the Secretary of State making clear that he's not leaving, doesn't have plans to leave, unless, of course, the president asked him to leave, and also making clear there was a lot of coverage of what he didn't say in the answer to the question, did he use that term? And so Heather Nauert had to come out later and kind of make it definitive. I think it eventually goes away, but what is clear, Sandra, is that there are splits in this administration when it comes to policy, the Iran deal, how to deal with Qatar, North Korea, and that is not a bad thing to have debate about different policy issues.
So the president took to Twitter to respond to all of this on multiple occasions at this point, and he's really using it as an opportunity to hit the media. He tweeted this: Rex Tillerson never threatened to resign. This is fake news put out by @NBC News. Low news and reporting standards. No verification from me. However, critics have responded and said, Brett, you know what? There is mixed messages coming out of this White House when it comes to the State Department and President Trump's words on foreign policy, as you just suggested. Are they reining that in? Are they getting that under control?
I don't know. You have to look at it a couple of different ways. Is the North Korea distance between Rex Tillerson and the president more of a good cop, bad cop situation, where they are trying to play North Korea to eventually get to some negotiated settlement? We don't know behind the scenes of that. Clearly, Rex Tillerson and his State Department is less powerful than we've seen in State Departments of past, and they are cutting back. And it's not, a great scenario when the bureaucracy sees cuts and efforts to make it smaller. But that is part of his job. I don't know if it means that he's leaving anytime soon. And
Rich Lowry, a National Review editor, he had this to say about it in Politico yesterday, Brad. He said the former ExxonMobil chief might imagine himself indispensable as a minder of the president. Yet Trump is now surrounded by generals who no one doubts are responsible and influential. If Tillerson left, the government would operate as before, except with some chance there'd be a Secretary of State better suited to the role. Your response to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of harsh, but it's his thought process. Listen, the president chose Rex Tillerson on the advice of Condi Rice and Bob Gates. He comes from ExxonMobil. He essentially ran a company the size of a small country. He has ties around the world and brings a different perspective than perhaps generals who have spent their time in the military bring to advice and consent. So I think that it's the president's call, and so far from yesterday's comments, he's not doing anything.
A busy day in Washington. Brett's gearing up for special report 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Brett, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Andrew.
So we will debate the debate over gun control in a moment here. Could it be a game changer for Virginia's race for governor? The latest on a live report on that coming up momentarily. Next, right here, Sandra.
Plus, a judge backs President Trump and dismisses the case against America's toughest sheriff. Reaction pouring in from both sides of the immigration fight.
He has the same clean record that he had before this started, and that means he doesn't even have a speeding ticket.
He has been labeled America's most abusive sheriff, most sued sheriff, and that's who he is.
For $69.95, you can get a pair of fashion frames at VisionWorks Yellow Tag clearance. Plus 25% off all lens upgrades. It's all about helping you be a better you. VisionWorks. Shop in store or online.
Whether it's new business, new boss, or new romance, these are the designer moments.
Now at Men's Warehouse, designer brand suits and sport coats are 60% off, plus buy one, get one free on select items.
You're gonna like the way you look in a designer suit.
Where's Gary?
Saved money on motorcycle insurance with Geico. Going up the country. Later, Gary.
I have a motorcycle. Wonderful.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
Okay, folks, let's get the lady of the house back on her feet and help her feel more strength and energy in just 2 weeks.
The complete balanced nutrition of Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals. Ensure, always be you.
Looking for balance in your digestive system? Try Align Probiotic. For a non-stop, sweet treat goodness, hold on to your Tiara kind of day. Get 24/7 digestive support with Align, the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Also in kids' chewables.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Do you hate your full face mask? Tired of the severe pain and discomfort? Now you can eliminate the pain and torture of your CPAP mask and sleep in total comfort. Invented by an actual sleep apnea patient, this incredible product ends the need to use awful full face masks. And because it has no straps and no headgear, you'll be comfortable and get your best CPAP sleep sleep ever. Go to nomask.com, NOMASK.com to end your nightly torture. That's nomask.com.
Clues about the killer. As the FBI grills the Vegas gunman's girlfriend, we reveal all the shocking new details in our powerful prime lineup tonight.
Hey, Dad, how about this one?
What's it rated?
D.
Nice try. Hey, try this one, and I think your dad will go for it. For more info, there's a rating search app, and you can set parental controls at home. All right, thanks. I'll check that out. Let's see if you can beat your old man in this one.
Game on.
Let's do this.
Check the ratings, because some games are for kids, some aren't. Visit ESRB.org.
Your dream home comes with a big wish list.
A rooftop deck, his and hers closet.
That vacation feel.
Big wishes mean a big budget.
This is a tiny mansion.
But not for these tiny home builders.
That's cool.
Innovative designers Tyson and Michelle Spiess pack in a lot of luxury.
It's incredible. I do love the backsplash.
This is so cool, making dreams come true.
And the best part, home is where you park it.
This is amazing.
All new Tiny Luxury, Thursday night at 9, only on DIY Network.
A judge formally dismissing the criminal case against Joe Arpaio. The ruling comes more than a month after President Trump pardoned the former Arizona sheriff. He was convicted of defying a court order against traffic stops that targeted undocumented immigrants. Arpaio's attorney praising the decision.
This is just another step in vindicating him. The vindication was when President Trump pardoned him, gave him an unconditional pardon, because the president realized that this was an unjust verdict.
The judge is now weighing a request from Arpaio to throw out a 14-page ruling on why he was originally found guilty.
25 past the hour, the issue of gun control now taking on new urgency in the wake of the Las Vegas attack. This debate now at the forefront of a tight governor's race in the state of Virginia. Doug McKelway is live on that in Washington, D.C. Let's talk about the Commonwealth. Is the Las Vegas incident expected to have a big impact, or how much of an impact on this race, Doug?
Well, Bill, it's hard to see how it has any impact at all. It is no secret that, like much of America, much of Virginia is deeply divided, never more so than over gun control. And rather than reach any kind of a mutual understanding or some degree of compromise, when an event like the massacre in Las Vegas occurs, both sides tend to retreat to their entrenched positions. That appears to be the case with Virginia's gubernatorial candidates, Democrat Ralph Northam, who favors stricter gun control, including a return to Virginia's now repealed one gun purchase a month law, and Republican Ed Gillespie, who strongly opposes any form of gun control.
Democrats are overwhelmingly for it. They were already voting for Northam, the Democratic nominee. Republicans are overwhelmingly against gun control. They were already voting for Ed Gillespie, the Republican nominee. So, essentially, I don't think it makes all that much difference. It's just reaffirmed the choices that were already there.
Gillespie has an A rating from the National Rifle Association. Northam has an F, as in Frank, rating from the NRA. The difference between the two could not be any greater. The two men face off in the last of 3 debates on October 8th. Interestingly, that debate will be taking place in remote Wise County, Virginia, deep in the southwestern part of the state, where Second Amendment rights and gun rights enjoy strong support.
Very interesting. Gillespie got close last time around. How is the race shaping up in the polls, Doug?
Well, it has mostly been described as neck and neck through the summer months, but that could be changing. In a new Washington Post poll out just today, Democrat Northam seems to be gaining ground. Northam leads Gillespie by 53% to 40% among likely voters in that poll. But with a little over a month to go before Election Day, that could change. 1 in 4 voters in that same poll say they could change their mind and their vote before November 7th.
All right, Bill? Thank you, Doug. Doug McKelway watching all that out of Washington today. Sandra.
President Trump comforting survivors and saluting heroes in Las Vegas. Nevada Senator Dean Heller joined the president on his trip and has been meeting with Las Vegas investigators. Senator Heller joins us live next.
We ask God to ease their suffering and to speed their healing. We pray for the recovery of the injured and those injured officers who so bravely threw themselves into danger when duty called.
There's an old saying in the Navy that the toughest job in the Navy is a Navy wife.
And if you made the deployments and you've been the wife at home or you've been the spouse at home, you understand what I'm talking about. Your spouse has earned the right to apply for a VA home loan. The New Day 100 loan allows you to borrow up to 100% of your home's value. So if you're in a situation where you need some help financially, give us a call.
Go to newdayusa.com or call 1-855-473-6531. It's a new day for veterans who need money for their family. Home values are going up and home equity lending is back.
That's me.
New Day USA has helped thousands of veterans close in as little as 30 days through their valuable VA home loan.
That's me.
Cash to pay credit cards, cash for retirement, or cash just to put in the bank. It's a new day in lending, and for veterans who need money, that can mean a lot.
That's me.
Call New Day USA at 1-855-473-6531.
How much do you really know about identity theft? $16 billion were stolen from identity fraud victims in 2016 alone. What would you do if this happened to you?
My savings account and my checking accounts were both drained. All of my money was gone.
Millions of smart people protect their identity with LifeLock, because today's technology makes identity theft easier and easier. If you use a smartphone, shop online, use public Wi-Fi, or fill out forms or applications, you're at risk.
I could not believe that somebody would steal my tax refund. It made me angry.
LifeLock members have identity theft protection in place before a problem occurs. If you just monitor your credit, you can miss certain identity theft threats. LifeLock sees more, like if your personal information is sold on the dark web. If we detect a potential threat to your identity, you'll get an alert. If there's a problem, a U.S.-based restoration agent will work to fix it.
They know everything that there's no way I could know. I turn it over to LifeLock and they'll help me.
There's a new victim of identity fraud every 2 seconds. 1 in 4 people have already experienced it. But LifeLock members are covered by LifeLock's $1 Million Protection Package, including reimbursement of stolen funds and personal expenses up to the limits of your plan, and lawyers and experts if that's what it takes.
I was covered through my membership, and I received a check for approximately $1,200.
Join today for as low as $9.99 per month and get 60 days risk-free with promo code TVOFFER. LifeLock members get identity threat detection and alerts, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration agent assigned to your case, and you'll be covered by LifeLock's $1 Million Protection Package. Start your membership today. Enroll in minutes.
Having LifeLock, we didn't feel like victims anymore.
LifeLock. Call 1-800-360-0470 or visit joinlifelock.com. Use promo code TVOFFER to get your 60 days risk-free and a free shredder with annual membership. Call right now.
There is a massive, far-reaching investigation underway in Las Vegas, stretching over several states, and here is what we know. It appears the killer may have spent decades stockpiling guns. Authorities believe he had help at some point, and they believe he had an escape plan. But the majority of the purchase of the weapons started October of last year. Why was that? Nevada Senator Dean Heller flew to Las Vegas yesterday with President Trump on board Air Force One. And Senator, good morning to you from the Strip, and thank you for your time here. I just want to, first of all, my condolences to the people you represent in the state of Nevada. How is Las Vegas doing and the people there?
Well, you know, Las Vegas will always bounce back, but this was a horrific event. But I do want to thank you. I want to thank the nation for their condolences and prayers. I even received a text message from a cab driver in New York City sharing his sentiments from all the cab drivers in New York City. When you're getting those kind of text messages, you know this has pulled on some real heartstrings around the nation.
No question. Tell me about the conversation with the president yesterday. Where was his head and heart on this?
Well, you know, it's not very often that you get a couple hours of FaceTime with the president at 30,000 feet, but I was fortunate yesterday to have that opportunity. I went to the governor, the mayor here in Las Vegas, and also the sheriff, Sheriff Lombardo, and said, hey, what questions do you want me to ask the president? This is our opportunity to get Las Vegas in front of the president. You know, he was concerned. He has some ties to this community. He does own some property here, so he has real sentiments for this community. The fact that we had a chance to talk about some of the heroic acts by ordinary people doing extraordinary things, helping their fellow citizens, is just an amazing story, and has literally getting those stories out has helped the healing process, and having the president here yesterday does also help the healing process as we move Las Vegas forward.
Let me share some of that with our viewers. Once you touched down, he said the following when he was with those in Las Vegas.
I'm actually going over to the police department, who likewise, Doctor, been incredible. Unbelievable. The fact that they were able to locate that zone and get in there, they say 11 minutes, whatever it was, it kept him busy, and he stopped firing because he knew they were coming into that door at some point. I think they did an incredible job. The professionalism has just been amazing.
And the hero in all of this is really going to turn out to be a security guard who worked for the Mandalay Bay, who got the door first. Sir, I want to go through a couple things here. I don't know how much you can answer this, but we're all looking for answers. It's Thursday. It is day 4.5, but it is still only day 4.5. What about a motive? What can you add, Senator?
Well, you know, the conversations and the briefings that I've had with Sheriff Lombardo, he does believe that this shooter was trying to escape, and that's his hunch. Sheriff Lombardo is a smart guy, and I'm with the sheriff on this one until he's proven wrong. But they're trying to figure out, frankly, what the motivation, what makes a madman go up on the 32nd floor of this building behind me and just spray bullets down on concert goers. Like you said, it's only been just over 72 hours since this incident occurred. We're going to learn a lot more in the days and weeks to come, but everybody wants answers to how this happened.
And my guess is they know a lot already, but the electronics that were found in the home in Reno, I'm certain, is telling them a lot. A couple pointed questions here. This was premeditated. Okay. He worked on this for some time. A sick individual, is there a suggestion of mental illness yet?
I understand that he was on depressants, Bill. We don't know the extent of that. At least I haven't been briefed on what the extent of that is. But he was a madman, and the fact that he could premeditate something like this is beyond what anybody can comprehend here in Las Vegas and across this nation.
Was he working with...
I want to thank...
Yeah, was he working with others, Senator? Or was he doing this on his own? What do we think right now?
Yeah. The sheriff right now is looking into that. He believes that there may have been others involved in this. At this point, it's not clear, and I certainly haven't been briefed on that fact. By the way, I want to go back and thank again the president for his comments, and that that piece you just showed shows you that he was engaged, and I was pleased that he had as strong an understanding as he did of what happened here in Las Vegas.
I can appreciate that, and I'm certain you did as well. What about connection to outside groups? Was he working with extremists? Was he influenced by them? Are they a part of this investigation now?
Well, it'll always be part of this particular investigation, but we certainly don't have real evidence that there were those kind of influence or those kind of outside groups. We won't stop this investigation until we have an answer to that. Again, we don't have the answer. It's only been just over 72 hours, and I think in the days and weeks to come, we'll have a clear understanding.
All right. When you get back to Washington, you know the debate that's already raging about gun control and these bump stocks. Representative Lewis, a Democrat from Georgia, said the following about all this debate now. Watch.
Don't tell me this is about protecting the Second Amendment when you won't stand up for the First Amendment. Don't tell me this is about anything other than greed, money, and fear.
So this debate continues on the bump stock that was apparently used on these long rifles. Where does that go, and would you support a ban on them? That seems to be the essential question of the week.
Yeah, keep in mind that this was an Obama-era regulation that was put into place back in 2010. And obviously, we're going to have this conversation. But let me be clear, I'm not interested in watering down the Second Amendment. What I'm interested in is trying to figure out how some madman can go in that building that's right behind me and spray bullets down on 22,000 concert goers. You show me the law that would stop that. Not only will I support it, I'll be an advocate for that law.
No. You had mentioned a moment ago how much understanding the president had. What did you mean by that comment? As it relates to what, Senator?
Yeah. As I was talking to the president on my cell phone, I had a picture of a number of survivors walk through their stories and what they were able to do and some of the heroic events that occurred during this time. I even have a picture of a woman who had a cell phone in her hand that has a bullet hole through it, a respiratory therapist at UMC, and she had some tissue wounds. She bandaged herself up and then went to the hospital. Probably should have been in the hospital herself, but was spent that time trying to help other patients and did so for 10 or 12 hours. Those are the kind of stories that he knew, he understood. There was a deputy, sheriff's deputy at UMC. I asked if he'd go visit him. He was on the second day of the job when he got shot at this event. His dad was also a sheriff's deputy who happened to be a participant at the concert. But those are the kind of stories and messages that I wanted to share with the president and asked him if he would certainly take time to visit some of these survivors and listen to their stories, and he did. And that's what's important at this point, is for him to engage, which he did, and help in this healing process, which he has helped.
And these stories just go on and on and on.
Yes.
Give the people there our best, Senator, and thank you for coming on today. Dean Heller, Senator from Nevada, with us live from the Strip. Good luck. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, as you mentioned, Bill, the issue of gun control dominating Washington as Republicans try to take on a jam-packed agenda. Tax reform, Obamacare repeal, just two of the biggest issues they promised Americans they'd take on. Can the GOP get this done? We will ask Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers, chair of the House Republican Conference. But first, House Majority Whip Steve Scalise.
We still have time to achieve even more big things, but if it starts with tax reform, I think that's a big win in and of itself and creates momentum to get other big things done.
America is getting back to work again, but with world economies so closely tied together, we can't afford another financial collapse, which is why I buy gold from Rosalind Capital. Hi, I'm William Devane. And to protect myself from trade wars, runaway inflation, and ever-devaluing paper money, I buy gold from Rosalind Capital because it protects the value of my assets. Whether you want bars, bullion, or premium coins, Rosalind has them all. We can't control what happens in the world, but we can control how we protect our portfolio. I say it's time we return to the America I know, and there's no better way than buying gold and silver from Rosalind Capital. So ask yourself, are you safe?
Call now to get your free gold, silver, and IRA kits. Call 800-630-8900. 800-630-8900. 800-630-8900.
How can you make your hair even stronger? Use Pantene shampoo together with 3-Minute Miracle Daily Conditioner. Their Pro-V formula is like a multivitamin, making your hair 2 times stronger. See the difference when you add 3-Minute Miracle Daily Conditioner.
When did you see the sign?
When I needed to create a better visitor experience.
Improve our workflow.
Attract new customers. That's when Fast Signs recommended Fleet Graphics.
Yeah, now business is rolling in. Get started at fastsigns.com.
Arthritis.
My back pain.
It hurts all over.
Wherever you feel pain, it can be managed from here with Quell. From this optimal point, the revolutionary Quell technology accesses the central nervous system. It sends precise neural pulses to the brain that trigger your body's own natural pain blockers. Quell is 100% drug-free, FDA-cleared, and easy to use. And for 4 out of 5 people, it works. Reclaim your life from chronic pain. Go to getquell.com or find a retailer near you.
If you have Medicare, I have 3 things you'll want to hear. There's an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana. It includes Medicare Part D prescription drug coverage, and it may save you money in so many ways. It's all in this book, and it's yours free just for calling. You'll see all the ways the plan might save you money, even on prescription drugs. In fact, last year, Humana Medicare Advantage prescription drug plan members saved an estimated $6,500 on average on their prescription costs. And you get all this coverage with an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. Even if you've looked at Humana before, you need to take another look at this plan. We'll send you the decision guide absolutely free, in a slightly smaller size, of course. Discover the all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan that could cut your costs and cover your prescriptions. Call 1-800-372-2119. or go to HumanaBigBook.com. The savings are too big to miss.
Take you live above Mother Earth there. Live picture. Kind of cool. Spacewalking astronauts given a new robotic arm, a new hand. NASA astronauts conducting those repairs, International Space Station. Next supply ship is due next month, and the new latches on that arm are needed to grab the next spacecraft. That arm's been in orbit for 16 years, so the wear and tear and the camera shake is taking a bit of a toll, but cool shot there. Good luck to all.
Alert for you. We're awaiting a press conference from Nancy Pelosi, the House Minority Leader. She's expected to talk about Las Vegas and the push for gun reform, the issue taking center stage on Capitol Hill, with many other agenda items still hanging in the balance. Joining me now, Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers, chair of the House Republican Conference. Thank you for being here. There is a lot going on. Obviously, this week has taken a drastic change, and it has put a lot of the GOP agenda on the back burner. The Las Vegas shooting has taken center stage. First, your thoughts, Congresswoman.
Well, boy, my heart breaks for everyone who was impacted, the loss of life. It's really hard to get your head around the tragedy, and I continue to hold them up. We just had a shooting in Spokane, too, at Freeman High School 2 weeks ago, and again, it's just really hard to get your head around it. I think it's very important that, first of all, that we're reaching out, that we are providing comfort to everyone that is impacted. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. I think it's very important that we get the facts, that we understand what happened, and the question as to this device that was attached to the gun, and what action we might take there.
So those bump stocks is what you're referring to there,
yes,
and I know that you have spent some time speaking with ATF agents about that device, trying to determine whether or not that should be legal. Have you come to any conclusions on that?
Well, we're asking those questions. Bump stock device is a relatively new technology. I think it's important that we understand just exactly how it works and what the law is related to that device. We're asking those questions now.
While all this is going on, Congresswoman, you look at the agenda, whether it's tax reform, Obamacare repeal, there is so much left to do by the end of the year, so many aggressive deadlines. Here's Paul Ryan earlier in the week talking about tax reform and getting it done. Listen.
We get tax reform done, that gets us faster economic growth. We know we get tax reform done, that's bigger paychecks. We know we close loopholes. It's a fairer tax system so that people pay their fair share and they don't rig the system. So we're basically trying to unrig the tax system by getting rid of all these special interest loopholes. That's good for America. It hasn't been done since 1986.
The clock is ticking, Congresswoman. Time is running out. Will this get done?
For most of us, we consider it must-pass legislation. This is about bigger paychecks, fairer taxes, more jobs. There's so many hard-working men and women in this country. I talk to them in Eastern Washington, people who feel like they're working hard, playing by the rules, doing all the right things, but yet they're falling behind because the cost of living continues to increase. And so for the Republicans who have the majority in the House and the Senate and the presidency, it's a time for action. Our economy has been stagnant. Wages have been stagnant, and this is our time to really get people back to work, create jobs, and create opportunities for everyone in this country. And that's why
there is a chance, Congresswoman, that this does not get done by end of year. It gets pushed into next year, an election year. How much leverage do Republicans lose?
Well, my goal is to get it done this year, and I can tell you that the House is moving as quickly as we can. Last week, I hosted the tax camp for the House Republicans when we rolled out the framework, and we had the Vice President come and visit us there. There's a lot of momentum coming out of that session. Members are asking questions, better understanding it, but they want to get to yes. So we're moving forward with the committee. Well, we passed the budget. We will be passing the budget today, and then moving forward with Ways and Means Committee, taking the action in committee. But our goal is to get this to the House floor within weeks so that it can get over to the Senate and onto the president's desk by the end of the year.
The DACA deadline. Got to ask you about this. Thousands of dreamers could lose their protection. Where do things stand?
We are, well, yes, the president has given us a deadline. Sometimes Congress functions better on a deadline, and so I'm pleased that we know that we need to take some action, and we're in those conversations right now to reach an agreement for those kids that need some certainty over what their future is going to be.
Congressman, can you give us some sort of idea of the tone in Washington right now? It has been just an unbelievable week for this country. Having had that mass shooting happen on Sunday night, America woke to that Monday morning. It happened in the middle of so much already going on in this country, whether it was natural disasters and such, and hurricanes, Puerto Rico's devastation.
Yes.
What is the tone in Washington like right now?
Right. Well, there's a lot going on in the world, and your heart breaks as you hear some of these stories. We've also had Steve Scalise return to Capitol Hill, which is, he said, he's a walking miracle, and he's given us a lot of inspiration in being back here on Capitol Hill. I would say, for me, it just reinforces the importance of restoring civility and how we treat each other, the importance of the moral fabric of this country, and making sure that we are practicing the golden rule, treating people the way we want to be treated. As basic as that is, unfortunately, it's being discarded too often, and we put labels on people and we cast them aside. And I have talked to my colleagues on both sides of the aisle about the importance of returning to civility in this country, and that needs to be our #1 campaign.
That sense of unity has been so important this week. Cathy McMorris Rodgers, Congresswoman, thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you.
Strong message there. President Trump meeting with doctors who fought tirelessly to save lives in Las Vegas. The message he delivered to them and to those families whose lives have been changed forever.
We know that your sorrow feels endless. We stand together to help you carry your pain. You're not alone. We will never leave your side.
It breaks my heart when I meet a Holocaust survivor who's still today struggling to survive. That's why I founded the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews 35 years ago, because together we can change lives. Call now to help save lives for just $18 a month. That's just 60 cents a day. As the largest humanitarian organization in Israel, we're already helping over 1 million people every year. But so many more are in need. Won't you help?
I support the Fellowship because God promises to bless those who bless Israel.
The Fellowship rescues persecuted Jews around the world who are facing grave danger and have no resources to flee. Our freedom flights bring them to a new life in Israel. Don't wait any longer. Your gift of just $18 a month is their lifeline. Please call the number on your screen. Thank you, and God bless you.
Bill Hemmer, Sandra Smith, America's Newsroom. Smart, experienced, unmatched news coverage. Starting this week, don't miss the new America's Newsroom.
Brother versus Brother, Beach Edition.
This summer, the competition heats up.
We want something new. We're doing it on the beach. There is no way you can't have fun being on a beach. There's definitely a lot of risk involved because we've never done a beachfront property, and this is our money on the line. I'm up for any challenge. It doesn't matter if we're on a beach. I will beat Jonathan this season. That's all there is to it.
You say that every single year, and then every single year I beat you.
All new Brother versus Brother, Wednesday night at 9 on HGTV.
On Travel Channel, Delicious Destinations is all about the edible icons that define a city. What shouldn't you miss? Chowder, bagels and smoked fish, bratwurst, Boston cream pie, pizza. Not only do we tell you what to have, but we give you some ideas about where to have it.
I came 1,000 miles to have this sandwich.
This is the best cookie I ever had. Let's go.
Bizarre Foods, Delicious Destinations. All new next Tuesday at 9 on Travel Channel.
How do you know if a video game is right for your family?
I read the box. I can tell from the rating information if it's okay for my kids to play.
There are ratings for a reason. Because some games are for kids, and some aren't.
Your dream home comes with a big wish list.
A rooftop deck, his and hers closet.
That vacation feel.
Big wishes mean a big budget.
This is a tiny mansion.
But not for these tiny home builders.
That's cool.
Innovative designers Tyson and Michelle Spies pack in a lot of luxury.
It's incredible. I do love the backsplash.
This is so cool, making dreams come true.
And the best part, home is where you park it.
This is amazing.
All new Tiny Luxury, Thursday night at 9, only on DIY Network.
We are learning more about the murderer who killed 58 people and injured hundreds more in the Las Vegas massacre. What remains unclear is the motive, of course, and we've got analysis of that. Plus, growing bipartisan calls for a ban on bump stocks like the Vegas shooter used. And the House could vote on the budget as soon as today. What that could tell us about the giant tax overhaul.
Thanks, Melissa. See you in 7 minutes there. President Trump, meanwhile, comforting survivors and thanking first responders in Las Vegas. And my next guest was with him on that trip, Nevada Congressman Mark Amodei, with me live in Capitol Hill. Sir, good morning to you, and thank you for your time. We just want to get a sense of the conversation you had with the president in light of what we're trying to absorb in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Bill. Very engaged. Very focused in terms of all the issues regarding that. Obviously, he talked with the first responders and the victims, engaged on taking a look at what the administrative issues were surrounding the promulgation of the bump stock stuff. So I think you'll see those folks engaged on that shortly. And just very, very touched, I think he was, by the warmth and appreciation that he was shown in Las Vegas.
Yeah, what does it mean to that community to get a visit like that?
You know, being from Nevada, we don't get a lot of things like that, and I can tell you that it was pretty attention-getting to see the people on the streets and the warmth from the mayor and the sheriff, obviously, and I'm talking about sincere stuff, not political, you know, snapshot things like that. And so they made a heck of an impression on him, and he's with them.
Yeah. On the investigation front, is there more that you're getting from local authorities that we haven't heard about yet that would lead us in a direction, sir?
You know, not yet. I mean, you go down the first few avenues, and you know, you've talked to his girlfriend. They're looking at stuff related to other targets in the area, but quite frankly, at this point in time, I think it's still accurate to say, looks like it was just him trying to figure out what made him go where he went.
You mentioned the bump stock there. Did the president give you an opinion from him as to whether or not he would nudge Congress or even push Congress on it?
Well, the president didn't give me his opinion. I can tell you, though, that the president's staff was very deep into the issue, confirming what the history of how this came about was, because it was administratively. And so they are doing their homework, and I suspect have taken and are continuing to take a very deep dive in the issue. I think they've been in discussions with other interest groups on both sides, which would include the NRA. So, you know, while a lot of people have said, hey, we need to be a little bit considerate of those folks who are victims here in a timing sense, I think you'll see the timing on this administratively and probably even congressionally be something that is unusual based on the past.
If this came for a vote, would you, on this accessory, would you vote to ban it or not?
Well, it's like everything else, Bill. It's like, well, show me the bill and I'll tell you. I've looked at David Cicilline's bill, which is great in terms of saying, hey, you know, we think this ought to be illegal and that ought to be illegal. The problem is then there's about 5 lines right after that in the bill that go through a very broad description, which could mean anything from grips to magazines to whatever.
You need to see the language of what you're saying.
Correct.
That debate continues. Sir, thank you for your time. I'm out of time for now, but come on back, okay? And my best to you and all your constituents.
Thanks, Bill.
Mark Amodei, thank you, the Republican from Nevada. Thank you, Sandra.
All right, Bill, well, congressional Republicans signaling they may be open to additional limits on guns. Las Vegas shooting prompting talk about those bump stocks.
The books and records, we put them all under a microscope, worldwide.
We don't have those kind of resources.
I know. That's why we're going to bring in BDO.
People who know BDO.
I had frequent heartburn, but my doctor recommended Prilosec OTC 7 years ago.
5 years ago,
last week. Just one pill each morning, 24 hours and zero heartburn.
It's been the #1 doctor-recommended brand for 10 straight years, and it's still recommended today.
Use as directed.
It was getting to be a struggle to get in and out of the tub.
Yeah, we were really worried about falling.
And we needed a solution to stay safe in our own home.
So we got an American Standard walk-in bath.
American Standard is celebrating over 140 years in business with our best offer on our Liberation walk-in baths.
They have a lifetime warranty on the bath, the installation, including the labor. I've never heard of that before.
American Standard has the only walk-in bath with over 20 comfort and safety features, including an ultra-low entryway, 44 massaging jets to help relieve aches and pains, and our patented quick drain technology, which drains your bath in less than 2 minutes. Other brands can leave you sitting in the cold. So call now for your free information kit. For a limited time, get $1,500 in savings, including a free American Standard right height toilet.
Don't delay. Call 1-800-425-8414 for your free information kit, $1,500 in savings, including a free toilet. That's 1-800-425-8414.
If you use denture paste instead of Seabond seals, your dentures may not hold as strong all day. Only Seabond has gradual release technology, so it holds 75% stronger all day versus the leading paste without the ooze. Seabond, stronger hold all day.
This Columbus Day at Joseph A. Bank, get up to 60% off almost everything in store. Plus, Traveler and 1905 suits for $249, and all dress shirts, including our best-selling Traveler shirt, 2 for $89. The Columbus Day sale, only at Joseph A. Bank.
Bona makes it easy to care for your hardwood floors, so you can just relax and enjoy. Pets, kids, everyday foot traffic. A busy home requires a more powerful clean. Bona Power Plus delivers with an oxygenated formula and Power Loop technology to remove dirt buildup. Bona, for simply beautiful floors.
I'm Master Chief Vince Patton. I am proud of being part of a company that really pays very close attention to taking care of the needs of veterans. Our people at New Day take a tremendous amount of time to get to know the person on the other end of the line. Veterans love to talk about what they've done in the service. And to have someone on the other end of the phone that really truly listens to them, that's one of the best qualities that we have at New Day.
Seems like we're just moving forward a little bit at a time.
What
right?
a week.
Yeah,
Wow.
What a week. We got to run. See you in an hour?
All right. Yes, sir.
Outnumbered? Right.
12 noon.
What's happening now?
Investigators in Nevada are probing the secret life of the gunman in Sunday night's Las Vegas massacre as they try to come up with a motive for the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. Welcome to Happening Now. I'm John Scott.
And I'm Melissa Francis. Law enforcement revealing new details on the killing spree and saying the gunman may not have acted alone. They also say that Stephen Paddock rented an apartment overlooking another music festival 1 week earlier. Investigators think he planned to escape after Sunday's attack, but turned the gun on himself as police closed in. President Trump and the First Lady traveling to Las Vegas yesterday to meet with survivors and first responders. The president praising the city and all those who put their lives on the line to save others.
I will tell you, the people of Nevada and the extraordinary city have shown the world their incredible character, courage, and resolve. Nevada really is a very, very special place. I'm honored to be here today at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department in the company of heroes.
White House correspondent Kevin Corke joins us live with more. Kevin.
Good morning, Melissa. You're right. The president's message was a simple and yet poignant one. You are not alone, and we will never leave your side. That's the message from not just the president, but also from the First Lady as they did meet with those first responders, police officers, and victims of Sunday's massacre in Las Vegas. This, of course, happens amid renewed scrutiny over gun laws, assault weapons, and, of course, the so-called bumps.